Hello everyone, AmyR here with Prairie Paper and Ink, and to start off with this card, I am using the Simon Says Stamp Leafy Frame Stencil, and any sort of stencil like this with a lot of open areas that want to come up when you're sponging, etc. I like to use a repositionable adhesive, so for today I'm using this Elmer's CraftBond spray, and if you spray it and adhere it immediately, it is a permanent adhesive. But I sprayed it and then you let it dry for 3 to 5 minutes, it says. So I let it dry for a bit and then it's just tacky, so it'll hold my stencil in place. And either use this in a well-ventilated area, or I actually like to use it outside. I just, hold it in the box and spray it just because it smells. It stinks. It really does. But it works great for something like this. It has that tacky adhesive, so I could press it onto my card front and then do my sponging, and I don't have to worry about the little areas in the open, like the open ends of the leaves, whatever, popping up. And then I can peel it off. Be careful when you peel it off. I was careful the first time, and then the second time I actually tore my cardstock. Be careful when you peel it off, but then you can move it around if you want, and that's what I did here. Is I sponged on my first color of ink, and I'm sponging it directly onto my card base, which is a Simon Says Stamp 120-pound pre-folded white note card, or pre-scored. And I sponged on scattered straw distress ink first, then I peeled up the stencil, moved it, sponged on some mustard seed ink. And when I peeled up the second time, I actually tore the cardstock a little bit, but I'm going to cover that up in a minute, so we're not going to worry about it. And then with this spray adhesive, I have my stencil again just face up, just so I can wipe off the ink with a baby wipe. I don't think after a while you can reuse the stencil, like it won't remain tacky over time. So I would just end up spraying it. And if it starts to build up after use, I plan on just like scrubbing it under my sink with some hand soap and a little nail brush. And that'll just remove the adhesive off the stencil, no problem. So I just wiped it off, put it back in the package, but I'm pretty sure that it won't remain tacky. So I'm fine with that though. So that's how I did my background. And then for my little main images, I'm using the Simon Says Hello There stamp set, and I'm just using the little monkey and koala from the set, and I'm stamping them onto Neenah's Classic Crest Solar White 80-pound cardstock with Simon's Intense Black ink. So a Copic friendly cardstock with Copic friendly ink. Someone was asking me recently, what do I mean by Copic friendly? I mean, this cardstock works really well with Copic markers, and this ink works really well with Copic markers. So I don't have issues. Like sometimes people have issues with like their markers aren't blending, or the ink is smearing, or any of those things. And when I say Copic friendly, I mean I've used these for years. They work great together. They work great with Copic markers. I don't have any issues. So I've listed the colors I used here on the screen. Kept coloring pretty simple, just working from darkest to lightest. And for areas like the monkey's, like the face part or like the mouth part and his little tummy, and then same with the koala's little tummy area, I just omitted the darkest shade that I was using for my combo here, and just to give it a little bit of a lighter look. And then I used R22 and R20 for the inside of their ears. And with the koala, I actually added the W1 as well to the inside of the ears, just to tone it down a bit because it's such a big area. But I like adding that pink. I just think it's cute. And then for my highlights, I'm using my Jelly Roll 10 pen. And I used it not just for highlights, I also did a little flicking motion to add, all that texture to the koala's fur. I thought that would be kind of cute. I do the same thing when I'm doing like Porcupine, so it almost kind of looks like he's a little bit prickly instead of soft, but I still like how it turned out. It was fun. So yeah, this Jelly Roll pen, this is the 10. This is one of the newer ones, and it's very wide. I really like it. I've been using it a lot lately. I've had people asking why I'm getting, like, how am I getting such good results? They struggle with their gel pens. Honestly, I can't say if it's specifically just this pen, because I used to always use the Uniball white one off and on for years. But my biggest thing with gel pens is usually if you use it consistently, you don't have problems with it. But if it sits for too long, it just starts getting clogged up. I find if I don't use my gel pens very often and I don't reach for them often enough, they just start to go bad. Like the tip starts to dry out. It dries out inside the barrel. So that's generally my issues with it. So if I'm using it consistently, I haven't had a problem. So I did that, die cut them with the coordinating dies, and then I die cut the, this is the CZ Design HOLLA word die. And before any keyboard warriors decide to come after me, this is a slang term. It is a combination of the word hello and holler. So it's holla. It is not misspelled. It is not based on the Spanish hola. This is slang. It was intentional. I love it. I think it's funny. I think it's cute, and it's used widely in music and whatnot. So yeah, I had people coming after me the last time I used this die, so I thought I would explain that's what this is. So I die cut it multiple times from white cardstock and from some Simon slate gray cardstock, and then I stacked them together with Simon's Craft Tacky Glue. So I have 3 layers of the white cardstock and then the topper of the slate gray. I was originally going to do it white, but I didn't like how it looked on the background with the white and the yellow. It just didn't stand out enough. So I topped it with the gray, and I much preferred that. And then I popped my little characters on with some foam tape here. And then to cover up, you can't really see it on camera, but in real life you could see where I tore the cardstock. To cover that up, I pulled out some Doodlebug Bonbon glitter sprinkles and just applied those. And FYI, these colors are part of this week's Color Throwdown Challenge, which I am the hostess. So that's why I went with yellow, gray, craft, and white. The monkey is kind of a craft color. He's my interpretation of it anyway. So I did that, and then on the inside of the card, I have a sentiment from the Hello There stamp set. And I also have another sentiment from the CZ Design Yay stamp set that kind of coordinates with the HOLLA die cut word. So I'm going to stamp the first sentiment with the same intense black ink here. And then I'm going to pull out the sentiment from the Yay stamp set, and I'm going to stamp that with Simon's Slate ink, which is the same color as the cardstock I used on the die cut on the front. So I'm going to stamp that, and then as my final little bit, I'm going to grab the little heart from the Hello There stamp set, and I'm going to stamp it in those same yellow distress inks that I used to sponge on the front of the card. So just ink it up and stamp it a couple times without re-inking it, and then ink it up with the other yellow ink, stamp it a couple times, and then I'm going to pair this card with a little craft envelope, and that finishes off my card. So as always, there'll be a link below my video to my blog post with links to all the supplies used, as well as a link to the color challenge. You can check that out below if you're interested. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all very soon in the next video. Bye!